Continuing coverage of the war with Iran and happening right now, the focus on the Strait of Hormuz, once the passageway for 1/5 of the world's fuel. Now, today, the strait is the site of cargo ships in limbo, with the U.S. military enforcing a blockade aimed at stopping Iranian exports.
Captain, you are requested to alter course to 190. If you do not comply, we will compel compliance with force. This is Warship 45. We will monitor your course for compliance at this time.
We will compel compliance with force. U.S. Central Command tells CBS News the U.S. military redirected 44 vessels, disabled 2, and boarded 2 others as the strait stalemate continues on. Live to Amman, Jordan, and CBS News senior foreign correspondent Imtiaz Tyab. Now, my friend, there are reports of some strikes that I want to know about. A British cargo ship reportedly hit, and then an Iranian proxy's drone strike on a Saudi airport. Get us caught up.
Yeah, it all really just underscores the fact that the situation remains rather extremely tense, despite the fact that President Trump, who just this weekend called off strikes, which he described as being worse than anything seen during World War II, saying he wants to give diplomacy a chance and that a deal is near. But it's clear that the U.S. and Iran are not talking directly, both sides acknowledging that. But those incidences that you point out again really just underscores the fact that the Strait of Hormuz remains this incredibly hotly contested body of water, a very narrow body of water. I've been to the Strait of Hormuz, not just earlier this year on the Omani side rather, but also back in 2019 on the Iranian side. And to just paint you a picture, it is so narrow, this body of water, you can see with the naked eye very clearly both sides. And so here we have Iran and Oman. They are negotiating with each other. They are coming to some sort of deal. The real question here is whether or not this is something that the president can agree to, and many are signaling that the president might not, which begs the question, what comes next?
What comes next? And that really tees up my question, because the president continues to threaten what he calls a major attack. He even used the term decapitation. So he also has this mixed message that Iran badly wants to talk. He says they call us, they badly want a deal. So how do we square that in the messaging today?
Look, it's incredibly hard with this president, if I'm going to be very frank. He does make statements where he makes incredibly enormous threats only for them not to come through, and then there are times where he does make good on his threats. And when it comes to diplomacy, it is clear that there are some factions inside Iran that do want to see some sort of negotiated settlement. We're now in the 6th month of this war. Iran has suffered hugely in that war. Huge areas have been devastated, infrastructure has been badly damaged, but for the Iranian leadership, this is a war that is existential for them, essentially for their survival. Obviously very different for the U.S., and because of that, they have dug in. They also have leaders now in place that are very different from the ones they had before, who are far less pragmatic. And so the president finds himself in an incredibly difficult situation. He wants to push Iran, whether it's through force or through negotiations, to capitulate to his demands, and that is just something they're not doing. So again, we're seeing right now in this moment attempts at negotiating some sort of deal. Again, it is direct talks between Oman and direct talks between Iran, who share that waterway. The U.S., of course, is in the background. But as we've been saying, whether that deal is something that the president can look at and say it's something that he supports, we'll have to see. Back to you.
All right, nobody better to catch that headline when it comes. CBS News senior foreign correspondent Imtiaz Tyab in Jordan. Thank you so much. Be well.